I left YouTube because my anxiety got so bad that I couldn't keep pretending that everything was okay. For a long time, I lived like something bad was about to happen. I spent a lot of my life trying to feel safe. And honestly, it feels a little exposing to say that so plainly, because from the outside, my life probably looked fine. I didn't think of myself as fearful. I thought of myself as careful, responsible, prepared. A lot of it just looked like overthinking, planning ahead, trying to control the outcome, and trying to make the smartest choice. But underneath all of that, I was exhausted from always bracing mentally and emotionally, always trying to stay ahead of what could go wrong, always trying to make the right decision so nothing would fall apart. And for a long time, I didn't question it. I just thought that was how you survive, how you protect yourself, how you make it through life. Back in 2022, my anxiety got so bad that I was having full-on panic attacks. At that time, I thought it was mostly because I was still traveling full-time, and deep down, I knew I didn't want that life anymore. But walking away from it felt terrifying because it wasn't just my lifestyle, it was also my business. So I made the hard decision and I rented an apartment and stopped traveling full time. I was still trying to make my videos though, but nothing was really connecting. I felt disconnected from my creativity, disconnected from the content, disconnected from myself. I wasn't happy. And YouTube didn't feel like a good option for me at that time. Not because I didn't care about it, but because I was struggling so much that everything I made felt forced. And I think that was the hardest part. I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew I couldn't keep going the way I had been. So I kept trying to figure out the safest next move, the smartest move, the one that wouldn't blow up my entire life. And that's when I started realizing that this wasn't just about travel. It went much deeper than that.
Well, I'm over here off of the Columbia River. We're doing a nice little hike today and just kind of doing a road trip. It's such a beautiful, beautiful day. This is the Columbia River, if you're not familiar with it. It goes from Canada all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So it's kind of the border between Washington and Oregon. And it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm excited to be out. I think everybody is. All the places are so full at the traditional hiking spots over here. The drive up was just beautiful. I love it. It's SR 14. It is just a lovely, lovely ride. Twists and turns, up and down, hugs the river. It's on the cliffside. It's truly magical.
Looking back, there were a lot of moments in my life where I didn't feel safe. And when you grow up like that, always watching, always scanning, always trying to stay one step ahead in case something bad happens, well, you don't just leave all that behind, you carry it with you. And I carried it into adulthood, into work, into big decisions, and into my body. I got really used to living on guard, even when nothing was actually wrong. I got really used to thinking about the worst case scenario, not because I was negative. I'm actually a really positive person. So this always confused me. But somewhere along the way, preparing for disaster became my way of feeling safe, my way of feeling in control. I was always trying to mitigate what would go wrong, always trying to have a plan ahead of time so I wouldn't get caught off guard. This was how I protected myself. I remember very clearly talking to my therapist about this once, when I had a major life decision to make and I felt completely frozen and incapacitated, like total analysis paralysis. I kept thinking, what if I make the wrong decision? What if I uproot my life for nothing? What if I mess this up and then I have to clean up a huge mistake? And I remember her saying, but what if it's the best thing for you? And that hit me so hard, like a ton of bricks, because as simple as it was, I had never really thought about it that way before. Like, bang my hand on my forehead, can't believe this positive person, had never thought of this scenario. And I had spent so many years trying to prepare for the worst that I had never stopped to ask myself, what was the best case scenario? When I think about how I would always prepare for the worst or the worst case scenario or how do I mitigate it, I think a lot of that came from being in survival mode for so long and also from being on my own. supporting myself, making every decision alone, and knowing it all landed on me. I did not have anybody to fall back on. That pressure can get really loud. So when my anxiety got really bad in 2022, I put so much pressure on myself to make the right decision. Because in my mind, if I got it wrong, I could lose everything. And that's really what leaving YouTube was tied up in. I tried to keep making videos here and there. I tried to keep showing up, but nothing felt right. The content didn't feel connected. It didn't feel honest. It felt forced. And how could I be authentic when I didn't even understand what I was going through yet? So I started slowing everything down. I pulled back from travel. Eventually, I stopped traveling altogether. I sold my van. And even though I made a few attempts to come back, I knew I needed more time. Because what I really needed was to figure out what was happening to me and how to get through this level of anxiety.
This is so beautiful. Look at this. Oh, look, there's a trail right down here. Come on, Georgie, this way. What a cute little trail. And I see a bench at the end, too, where we can hang out. This is such a magical little place. Especially with all the moss. I love all the moss around here. It's one of the things that makes the Pacific Northwest so unique and so beautiful. It's just all the green, even in the wintertime. Look at the bench. Yay, Georgie, we got a bench. Come on, over here. Oh, look, and you can even go down the trail there.
Even though I was already craving a slower pace, I still didn't fully understand what slow living really meant for me. I mean, I had been trying the slow living concept while I was traveling and living in my van, which in a lot of ways was actually helping, but I still had not fully absorbed it yet. I thought it mostly meant slowing down my schedule, doing more things that felt peaceful, creating a calmer life on the outside. But over time, I did realize that it was much deeper than that. Slow living for me became a way of healing my nervous system, but in a real emotional way, in the way your body starts to soften when it finally begins to trust, and that it doesn't have to be on high alert all the time.
When I think about grounding and healing my nervous system, it's places like this that really do that for me. I think that's why I've always been so drawn to the Pacific Northwest. A lot of you have asked, like, what is PNW? Because I put that in my title sometimes. It's the Pacific Northwest. Parts of Canada, Washington, Oregon, and maybe a little bit of Northern California. But yeah, it's just beautiful here. When I first moved here in 2001, a long time ago, I fell in love. Like, I didn't think I would ever leave. And I only left because I went traveling to see other places. So, anyways, yep, I'm always drawn back here. It just makes my nervous system and anxiety really go down and helps to ground me, especially being out in nature and hiking and, I don't know, being around trees and lush vegetation, and also the water. The water is very helpful. Overall, it just kind of covers all the senses and makes me feel so good. Over you go, girl. Good girl. You did so good on the walk. That was such an amazing hike. I even brought a little lunch with me that I packed. And a little snack for Georgie and some water. So I'm gonna actually find a little place over here by the water and have a little lunch. This is actually called Fort Cascades National Historic Site, in case you guys are interested. It's just gorgeous over here. Gorgeous. I spot some picnic tables up there. There we go, Georgie. We scored a picnic table, girl. And this is our view. This is beautiful. What a lovely day. I'm just loving it. All right.
Slow living isn't really an aesthetic to me. It's gentleness. It's giving yourself enough room to hear your own thoughts again. It's building a life that feels more honest and more grounded, something that's less rushed, less performative, and a life where you can actually notice what makes you feel good and let that matter. For so many years, I was so focused on work and responsibility that I lost touch with parts of myself, or maybe I just stopped making room for them, which is probably more of the truth. And when I finally started simplifying things, making more space, letting myself work less, rush less, or prove less, I started remembering what I had missed. There was this whole creative side of me that I pushed aside for years, and slowly she started coming back. Not all at once and not in some big dramatic way, but little by little. I started feeling connected to myself again, connected to beauty again, connected to creating again, connected to that quieter, more honest parts of myself. And I think that's why coming back to YouTube eventually felt possible, because by then I wasn't trying to force creativity out of myself. I was starting to come back naturally, and that felt completely different than what I had felt before.
No, you already had yours. Already had yours.
As I started leaning more into slow living, little things began to change. I started taking back more of my time, doing more things the analog way, which I know I've talked to you guys about before, but reading real books, cooking more of my own food, reducing how much digital noise I was taking in, paying more attention to my health, meditating, letting things be simple. And none of it looked really crazy from the outside, but inside, I could feel myself settling. I could feel that I was healing my nervous system little by little.
Did you have fun, Georgie? Did you?
This has been such a lovely day. Oh, it was a little windy out there, so I thought I'd bring my book inside and maybe do a little reading in here. I actually may go find some coffee. That feels good, but I started reading this book, by the way. Elizabeth Gilbert, one of my all-time favorite authors. All the Way to the River, Love, Loss, and Liberation. And by the way, I haven't even advertised this yet, but so many of you have already joined. So there's Patreon. And there is YouTube memberships. I have tried both, and honestly, I'm not a fan of either for a variety of reasons. One of which is they take a lot of the money that you guys provide for the membership, a big percentage of it, and it's not really organized. Like, to me, it's disjointed, and you guys can't find things very easily. I can't find things very easily. So I ended up starting my own membership group on my actual website, and I'm calling it The Table. I call it The Table because I feel like when I'm talking with you guys, like in our community and the comments, and the fact that like you guys will say, I'm sitting down, you know, watching your video with my coffee, I'm sitting at my breakfast table. I just think of like friends and all of us sitting around a table having a really great conversation. And so I created The Table, which is the membership group. It's only $3 per month, $3, that's it. And I made it really kind of low cost because one, I honestly, like, I want this to be a community for all of us. I don't want it to be me just providing content to you guys on their extra content. That's not what it's about. It's about providing a really safe place for all of you guys to have more community. We started the book club there. April's going to be our very first month where we're actually assigning a book. So I know all of you had wanted that. So I have the book list there. We all decided on a particular book that we're starting April 1st. So I don't know, it's just a really neat little place, I think, for everybody to kind of join and have community and comments. And the YouTube comments can be a little bit fast paced and also a little bit disjointed based on subject matter. So if you want to join, there's a link in the description. It's also everywhere on my channel. If you go to my website, amberjbaldwin.com, you will be able to find it there. It just says the table you join. It's $3 a month, or you can do for $30 a year. I might actually sit here and take a nap. The sun on my face feels so good. It's lovely.
I think Georgie's gonna take a nap too, aren't you? Does it feel good in the sun? Yes. The wind in your hair. Look at her eyes. They're slowly closing.
We're actually about to cross into Oregon, but I wanted to show you what we're crossing over. So this is, of course, the Columbia River, but this is called Bridge of the Gods, and it connects Washington and Oregon. It's actually a toll bridge, so you gotta pay to get over there. And the drive on the Oregon side is really, really beautiful too, to get back to Vancouver. Here we go. Bridge of the Gods. Hello. How are you? No, I don't need one. Thank you. Thank you. You too. See you there, Georgie. This is just gorgeous. Okay. Let's see if I can find our coffee shop, Georgie. I'm gonna open this so you can see outside. There we go. He's right there. You guys have some goodies here.
There's that trip of relaxation.
Very much so. Oh my gosh, you have a puzzle. Look at this.
Your day.
Thank you, you too. You get back over there. Hi. You did so good. You did. I have her tethered in, by the way. Nope. Scoot. See, she's hooked in, so she can't get out. So we were on the other side of this. We're in Oregon now, off of 84. And we were on the other side of that dam earlier. Georgie, where did you go? Did you bury yourself? Hello. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I came home and took a nice little nap. And now I'm going back out. It's about 5:30, I think. I have an appointment to get a little scalp massage, a little hair treatment and relaxing. I've never done this before, but it's supposed to be absolutely divine. So I'll bring you guys along. So good in here. That felt so good. Although I feel like my hair is still oily a little bit. That was amazing. It was so relaxing with water, and they massage your scalp. So she did all this like moisturizing and massaging with all different like tools and her hands and her fingernails. And that was amazing. I highly suggest scalp massages.
Oh, hello, Georgie. Hi, come on, up here. Come on. What you doing? Let's go. Did you miss Mama? Did you miss Mama? I know, I missed you too. I did.
Such a lovely day out. We had so much rain lately, so this feels so good.
You like the sun too, don't you?
I'm not gonna lie, when people used to talk about romanticizing your life, I thought it sounded kind of ridiculous, a little too curated, a little too online, a little bit too much of an influencer lifestyle. But then I started understanding what they actually meant. Because when you live alone or when life starts to feel repetitive, it's very easy to move through your days without treating yourself very kindly. You're just going through the motions, you're doing the dishes, making your food, answering the emails, going to bed, and doing it all over again the next day. And sometimes the smallest shift changes the whole feeling of a day. Lighting a candle while you cook. This is the romanticizing part. Using the mug you love the most. Taking a bath with Epsom salts or bubble bath. Reading instead of scrolling on your phone. Making your environment feel just a little softer. Just because. Not because anyone sees it, just because it feels good. And the truth is, romanticizing your life actually works.
Well, good morning, everyone. I love that coffee. The mocha pot is amazing. By the way, did you see, what the heck? I spilled my coffee grinds as I'm pouring it into the filter, and then I spilled the coffee getting into the cup. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I have been spilling things or dropping things. It's so weird. This just happened yesterday. So I'm actually washing my shoes right now. These are my felted wool shoes because I was making my morning smoothie, filled up my little NutriBullet container with my milk and also my powder, my protein powder. Sorry for this noise. Went to go put ice inside of it and promptly knocked it on the floor. Got chocolate all down the side of my pants, my shirt, my shoes, all over the floor. See, I just put that wool wash in there that I used for my knitting. So hopefully those will be okay. So on that note, I'm being extra careful. Like I added a lid to my smoothie, so if I knock it over, minimal will come out. Check this out. Do you see this? Hopefully you can see it. I can't see the camera, so I have no idea. But all of these little hairs are sticking up. So I've been using this new product on my hair. Well, it's not new. I've been using it for like maybe 4 or 5 months now. But it helps grow my hair even more. So all these little baby hairs are coming in, and my hair grows very, very slow. So anyways, but it's that whole Monet brand that I told you about. I'm not affiliated with them, not sponsored by them, but I just love their stuff because it reduces my hair shed. It keeps my silvers bright and white and silver. Oh, I gotta show you. I finished my puzzle last night. I'm so excited. I love this board because I can just put it under the bed, or I put it up here sometimes when I'm working on the puzzle a lot. But look, it's all done. Isn't it pretty? I was thinking about possibly framing it. I've never done that with a puzzle. I just wonder if it's gonna look weird on the wall as a puzzle. But I might try it just to see, but oh, I just love it. I ordered some more. Overall, it was just so enjoyable to put together. So I'm just glad that I have the space nowadays to actually do it. So I might actually frame it. I don't know, let me know. Have you ever framed a puzzle? If you have, let me know down in the comments on what you did. Like, especially because I think you have to glue it, or they have sheets maybe that you can put on it to glue it down and keep it all together. But I'd like to know if you've done it and how it looks on your wall. Because I do love having like colorful artwork. Oh, and my shoes updates. Yeah, they're not usable anymore. They shrunk. You can actually kind of see a little bit in the difference in size. This one is shorter than this one, but I can't even get my feet into them. I couldn't get this dry, so I stuck them in the dryer for like 15 minutes and they shrunk like crazily. It was on low heat too, so these are now going in the trash. And I have some more on the way, which really is awful because they're not cheap. Instead, I'm wearing my flip-flops around the house because I don't like to go without shoes. Just because it makes my feet feel weird, but I need a pedicure big time. Another thing I need to go do, you can see the nail polish on it has worn off. That's, you're gonna laugh at me. God, I tell you guys the craziest things. I think that was on there from like 6 months ago. It was before I had surgery. I just let it, you know, fade off. Life has its challenges and you do what you can do when you can. I'm so excited because the story post Snail Mail Club has actually been released. You're not gonna believe this, but over 200 people signed up in the first day. Can't believe it. You guys have had an incredible response, and to see your comments, everybody's like, oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And of course, I hope that you keep that excitement and that you actually love what I'm creating. It's such, you know, a labor of love and very personal to me. I mean, the videos that I put out to you guys are also very personal as well, but this is like my art and, you know, a letter and things that I'm creating art-wise. And I don't know, it just feels different. Like I was so nervous when I hit the button to say it's open and send out a notification to everybody on the wait list, because I don't know, I want you guys to love it, and I want you to feel how much I love it and how much I appreciate all of you guys. And I'm trying to make it so special and create like just beautiful things in there that are going to make you feel good when you get it. Some people had actually, Georgie, that's Georgie, by the way. People have said, oh my gosh, the blanket is moving. It's Georgie. Do you want to see? Georgie, you want to say hi to everyone? She was growling. Hi, baby. There she is. There's a girl. Can you go over here? It cracks me up. People are like, oh my gosh, the blanket is moving. What is that? No, it's just Georgie. She sleeps like a cat on the back of the couch under the covers. It's her favorite thing. I had considered, prior to releasing the Snail Mail Club on a monthly basis, to show you what you would actually be getting. But then I decided not to do that. The reason why I didn't is because I want you to be surprised. I want you to look forward to getting it and feel like you're getting the surprise and it's a gift and something that, you know, you have no idea what it is, but you're waiting with anticipation. And I don't know, maybe that sounds weird for me to say that, but that's how I want to feel, you know? And so I think about, if that's how I want to feel and that's what I want to get out of a snail mail club, then I want to convey that into my own snail mail club that you guys are looking forward to. And hopefully you're looking forward to it. Hopefully you get the first one and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to continue with this and see what the next one is about. I want you guys to, feel like you're getting this little gift in the mail every single month instead of like the junk mail and the bills and things that aren't pretty. So this is special, and I'm just having so much fun with it, and I'm really overjoyed by the response from you guys with it. Also, to let you know, if you haven't signed up already, if you sign up by April the 2nd, you will get the April mailing, which will go out at the end of April. If you sign up after April the 2nd, like there's literally a hard cutoff. So if you sign up April 3rd, you're not going to get your first mailing until May, end of May, which I know seems weird because it feels like it's going to be 2 months, which it will be 2 months by the time you actually get your first mailing. It's because you have to have a hard cutoff. If you don't, you can either over purchase or over create things for your snail mail club, which leads to more expense, and you don't want that. I need to make exactly the amount of envelopes and items and artwork that for the people who had signed up, because you're not getting the same thing every single month. So I need to keep my costs down, which obviously means that you guys don't have to pay more for it. I keep the costs down for you guys as well. If you want to join the Snail Mail Club, it's called the Story Post. So go to amberjbaldwin.com/storypost. Link is down in the description and in the pinned comment, and you can get signed up. I'm going to get to reading and enjoy the rest of my coffee and then get the day started. I've got a lot of work to do.
So over time, as I started living more slowly, not just on the outside, but in the way that I treated myself, my anxiety started to ease. I started healing my nervous system. Life started to feel less sharp. And eventually, after taking that time away, YouTube started to feel possible again. Not because I suddenly had all the answers, but because I felt more like myself again. I felt more connected and more grounded and more honest and more in touch with my creativity. And honestly, just so much happier. Happier than I had been in a very long time. Not because life became perfect, because my life is absolutely imperfect, but because I stopped forcing myself to keep living in a way that wasn't working. And little by little, I came back to myself. So if you're in a season where life feels heavy or your mind feels tired, just take it gently. You don't have to fix everything at once. Healing can happen slowly in small choices and quiet moments, and the way you start caring for yourself a little differently. One day at a time, one small step at a time. It's worth it, and so are you.